What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another Dota 2 commentary brought to you by yours truly, B Ballin. And this is going to be a matchup between Liquid and Dignitas. This is from a different tournament, so man, they have just been meeting up left and right all over the place. This is from the Dreamhack Invitational. This is the SemiFinals. Keep in mind, this is a single elimination tournament up to the finals, and this is going to be a matchup between Dignitas and Liquid, like I mentioned. And this is after Liquid won the Raid called Dota 2 League, so we'll see if Dignitas can get their revenge. I think that was Dignitas' only major loss since they re-picked up snaking, so they are surely looking for revenge, and since this is single elimination, Liquid can't go through the losers bracket to face them if Dignitas do proceed through. But yeah, I'm casting this game, even though it's a little bit dated. Again, not really that many recent tournaments. I mean, EMS is coming up relatively soon this weekend, and hopefully there'll be a lot of top-tier action, whether it be Navi, Alliance, AK, NTH, man, Fnatic, Virtus.pro unfortunately cannot make it, but yeah, right now I'm just going to do a couple of old replays. I might bring you an Asian replay here and there, but those are really dated by this point, so maybe not, only if you want me to commentate some of those if you have not seen those already. But yeah, this is Dreamhack Invitational, and the reason why I'm casting this is because I want to familiarize myself, because the Dreamhack Invitationals, I think, were DDoSed, and the finals have been postponed to actually tomorrow, which is Thursday, on twitch.tv/the Good Studio, THEGD Studio, with Bruno, Too Good, Draskell, Weppos, Scriff, and all those fantastic people up there in Sweden. But yeah, just gonna reacquaint myself with this tournament. Right now, Dignitas picking him. Man, they love the Lone Druid, and this is characteristic of many Asian teams. Asian teams really like getting that Lone Druid up. And Dignitas use their Lone Druid a bit more in the offlane compared to most Asian teams, but this is a really strong combination favored by a lot of Asian teams, Lifesteal and Lone Druid. The problem is when it comes down to late game, if you have a lot of range heroes, then they can potentially be carried away. You can pick up things like Ghost Scepter and render them effectively useless, but then they can go to work on your heroes that don't have Ghost Scepter, whether it be your carries or obviously towers and things like that, so it's still a very deadly duo. Lone Druid, most likely in this game, will be played in the offlane, probably once again by AUI 2000, as his offlane Lone Druid, it gets pressure down, but I think the Western scene really knows how to deal with offlane Lone Druid for the most part, so it's up to Dignitas to sort of challenge that. Or, again, with the lifesteal in the fold, you can never really second guess an aggressive child, because lifesteal, as SK previously mentioned, I think in a couple commentaries ago, that he's such a strong aggressive trident hero. He has a really strong slow. It scales, supremely well at level 1, 70, 60, 50 for 2 seconds, and then it's just a really strong slow. Rage, of course, magical immunity means you can dodge stuns, and of course Feast gives you sustainability. Liquid not deviating from anything too out of the ordinary. You're going to pick up Nyx Assassin. This will most likely be a mid lane Nyx Assassin. Liquid do run support Nyx Assassin quite a bit, but they are one of the teams that do like to favor the Nyx Assassin, so actually I'm not too sure. It's a little bit too early to call. But Nyx is such a versatile hero, he's very annoying. The unfortunate thing is he's not very good against Lifesteal or Lone Druid, so Dignitas picked up some 2 strong heroes to sort of beat that Nyx Assassin first choice. Liquid going to pick up Leshrac to help solidify their tri-lane, help push down the towers early on, give them some magical damage in the mid-game, and just overall be a powerful support. And Nature's Prophet for Bulba. Liquid has been picking a lot more heroes for Bulba these days, but Nature's Prophet is definitely one of his signature heroes. He's just ridiculously good. I mean, it takes a while for him to get going, but once it gets going, Bulba's Nature's Prophet is pretty devastating for the most part. Dignitas going to pick up the Rubik, so maybe there's some IX Mike repressed memory syndrome flashbacks from that RP that Dignitas had stolen from them. And speaking of RP, Magnus has not yet been picked or banned. Dignitas might want to ban it out themselves because they already have 2 melee heroes, and I don't imagine they want to put Magnus mid. And these days, Rubik, of course, is played as support. You could put the Lone Druid mid, but Liquid gonna bat the Enigma, knowing that Dignitas really like to jungle. So Dignitas, their support pool is a little bit more limited. They still have to pick up a mid hero. And what Dignitas have been doing a lot is bringing back TA, and I think that's why Team Liquid have not picked up Puck just yet, because TA does beat Puck for the most part, as Dignitas is going to be out the Weaver, recognizing that, okay, Weaver against Lifesteal and Lone Druid, pretty annoying. Not really too sure how to kill them, because Weaver, he dies in burst, but if you can survive, he'll just kite your melee heroes around, and Dignitas at the most have all of 0 burst heroes on their side.
Dire team ban.
Liquid banning out the Templar Assassin. Maybe this will indicate they're going to go for a puck, but keep in mind Dignitas do have the first pickup after the uh, second ban phase ends. And it's pretty interesting these days. Usually the team with the first pick does have a significant edge, but Liquid respecting Snaking's TA, knowing that has a really high success win rate. And Dignitas bang out the Juggernaut. Maybe they've scrimmed against Liquid recently. I have not seen Liquid run Juggernaut. It's really strong against Keeper of the Light, and speaking of which, we have not seen Keeper of the Light just yet, as Liquid got a ban with the last ban. And I hate Keeper of the Light so much, but he's sort of straightforward, and Liquid already have probably their 2 support, so usually this Keeper of the Light ban just indicates that, okay, Liquid, they don't want any more support, so this will most likely be a Nyx Assassin support. Dignitas to do need support, they don't have a Rubik, so they're going to get rid of the Keeper of the Light choice, but yeah, just interesting that he made it so long, but Liquid recognized the fact that Darkseer and Gyrocopter are placed on very high priority for Dignitas, so, and Dignitas, I guess, not really favoring the Keeper of the Light these days. I think what Dignitas doesn't really favor Keeper of the Light is because they pick up a very greedy lineup in terms of experience and farm, and once they get that, they can start a team fight. But Keeper of the Light, as support, still does manage to take farm. If you're pushing in, he will take farm, and of course, that will just sort of ruin your carry CS a little bit. I mean, it's just a natural thing. If you're defending towers, you gotta blast that Illuminate. And Leshrac, decent against Keeper of the Light, even if his creep wave is already demolished, so that could be why Keeper of the Light was not picked up by Dignitas. Dignitas ban out the Phantom Lights there. They recognize the fact that Lone Jade Lights are pretty bad against PL, and Liquid are known to pick up PL. They have Nature's Prophet. If they manage to get PL and Nature's Prophet, the split pushing would be absolutely devastating. So Liquid most likely going to choose their mid hero right now, and then save their carry for TC on the last pick. And Liquid, well, Stormseer would probably not be this choice. They're going to pick up Luna for TC right now, so they want to get a bit of early push going. They have the Leshrac to help amplify that. They have Nature's Prophet, who can actually do something in the first 10 minutes of the game this time because he does have the pushing potential. But Luna's interesting because she hasn't really had the highest success ratio these days, because when it comes down to the mid to late game, there are just other carries that are more reliable. Eclipse is not really the most reliable spell, and Luna a bit squishy, but she's still very, very powerful, and it does fit Liquid's game plan. They picked up the Leshrac, sort of similar to LGD Int. They're going to get the towers pushed down early. Hopefully, Nature's Prophet will get farmed up a bit faster than usually will, and hopefully he will carry the mid game. And Dignitas, they want to go for the mid game, but it'll be difficult against the Luna, to say the least. One thing that is a problem for Liquid is that I really don't see any way for them to sort of get around the lifesteal problem, because Leshrac doesn't do anything to him. The only thing that will really affect lifestealer is Sprout, and if Dignitas just carry a Quelling Blade on their lifestealer, they should be okay. Even if they don't, there's a lot of mechanisms in place, and they're going to pick up the Magnus, so that gives them another way to break the trees. They have Skewer, they have Telekinesis, and yeah, Dignitas getting a triple melee threat, so they recognize the fact that Liquid, if they pick up mid-soul right now, who is still left in the pool? Quap is still left in the pool, so Liquid could potentially pick it up. Storm, Puck, mid-souls are actually not banned out by either team. And that just really speaks to the trends of mids these days. I mean, mids are not really placed in the highest priority because you just have Bottle Crow. But, that's just how Dota goes. If there wasn't Bottle Crowing, we'd never see heroes like Brewmaster or Night Stalker. It just would never happen. But, hey, it does make for a little bit less action-oriented game in the early stages of the game. So Liquid, thinking about what mid hero they want to go for, unless they want to put Luna mid, which is possible. I've seen Orange run Luna mid once or twice, but Liquid, they have a pretty stable game plan. I've never seen anybody else besides TC play the Luna, and TC, very, very strong player, but usually Korok does handle that mid-soul position. Again, they could potentially put the Nyx mid, but they're going to choose the Quap. Again, when they ban out the Keeper of the Light, they're saying, alright, we're getting rid of all the supports. Quap, one of the better heroes to deal against Magnus. She's a bit squishy, and once Magnus gets a Bottle Crow, he actually has a pretty solid time, but he also needs levels, because keep in mind Shockwave does not really get going until level 5, and Queen of Pain, with her range, if she gets pulled maybe like a set of tangos, if she starts out with Null Talisman, should be able to win the lane quite handily. But again, that's okay with Dignitas. They pick lineups that are not good in the laning phase, and they're very comfortable with that. Right now they have all of 0 burst damage, they have Shockwave, well, Magnus is a bit of a bursty hero. They're going to pick up Jakiro to help synergize with the Magnus, sort of acting as the pseudo Darkseer in this role, as Fogged is going to be handling that, but Ice Path and Macro Power, And I think more importantly, the Ice Path to allow Universe and AUI to approach the enemy team sort of recklessly and just sort of go to work. And Liquid, again, nothing to deal with the lifesteal whatsoever. So I feel like if Universe gets off to a good start, he honestly can't be stopped. Nene, pretty useless. Leshrac, not the most useful hero. Only Bulba, only when he gets a bit of farm, will be pretty strong. Again, Eclipse is the majority of Luna's early game DPS and team fights, and that's not really the best mechanism in stopping Lifestealer. And its Co-op is just, well, Co-op and Lifestealer, they're not a good pairing. But anyways, as we get into the game, hopefully this game wasn't the one that was DDoSed, but I guess we'll find out very, very shortly. But I guess we can just introduce players and teams since they're going already. Universe is playing the Lifestealer, 8Y2000 is playing the Lone Druid once again on that offlane position. Meanwhile, it's going to be Fogged playing the Jakiro, Snaking is playing the Magnus, and Way Too Sexy is playing the Rubik. Meanwhile, on the side of Liquid, we're going to have TC playing the Luna, Korok is playing the Quap, Fluff is playing the Leshrac, Bulba is playing the Nature's Prophet, and IX Mike 88, the man, the myth, the legend, is playing that NA. Let's just check out the starting items. As you can see, Quap managed to sell her items fast enough that she's going to start with the Circlet, not saving up for a bottle, but this gives her a bit more HP, gives her a bit more regen. Actually, not going for the fast bottle rush and not being pooled anything. So I guess these days we're seeing a lot of pooling because we want to have the supports have a bigger impact earlier on, or if the carries are pressured in aggressive trial and they want to have regen to pool the carry. But meanwhile, Dignitas gonna rush the bottom jungle very aggressively. You want to get some wards. They perhaps are challenging Liquid's trial and with their own trial. And again, with Lifestealer, you can potentially do that. And even though Rubik, Lifestealer, Jakiro isn't the most damaging of Trilines, it has a lot of crowd control. Again, the slow, there's nothing like a Shadow Demon in place to really just stop them. And actually, we didn't see Shadow Demon picked or banned, interestingly enough, by Liquid, which is one of their favorite heroes. But they did pick up their supports in the first two phases, or in the first phase anyway. But yeah, just back to the Jakiro Rubik Lifestealer combination, which you are going to see in the trial, and we'll see if Liquid decides to dodge it. Yeah, TC is actually migrating to the top lane, and I think Liquid recognizes the fact that, okay, once Lifestealer gets some points in rage, we honestly can't touch him. Ice Path is such a long-range initiation spell, and when you have the telekinesis to lift him into the Ice Path, you just have at least 3 seconds of lockdown, not counting the slow, once that trial fully gets going. So Liquid making the smart decision, going to dodge a trial. We'll see if Dignitas rotates to handle themselves. And one of the things that is annoying for the Liquid side when they dodge this trial, of course they're going to get more farm in Luna, but they can't really keep the barrier out like they could have if he was on the off lane. And actually we're going to see Fogged, ooh, the tree getting pulled, nicely done by Bulba. And it's a similar situation for Bulba, but interestingly enough, his jungle has been blocked off, so he can't really pull the creeps into the jungle camp, farm the jungle if he's pressured down. Nature's Prophet, squishier than Lone Druid once, you know, the moment does come, but Nature's Prophet will be playing Olimar defensive. One thing you will have to worry about is if the supports do decide to roam in, but again, these two supports, Jakiro and Rubik, do not deal that much damage whatsoever. But again, this is what AI can do. He can jungle pretty much without fear, or with a little bit of fear, as long as he's careful. But he's not going to be pressured like he always is in this sort of offlane scenario that he's contested against a Trine. And this is sometimes the annoying part about dealing with Bear on the offlane position. If you just challenge, or if you get challenged by an aggressive Trine, Bear will have a much easier time if your team even does dodge. As Fogged is going to rotate in, they just want to protect the Bear. This isn't really to sort of help Lone Druid get kills. They just want to make sure if AUI does get initiated on, because keep in mind, Leshrac, Split Earth, Lucent Beam, and the NA Stun do a lot of damage, and the Bear at the range form does not really have that much HP. So if there's any initiation, Fogged will be there to throw on defensive Ice Path. And again, what will Nature's Prophet honestly do in the bottom lane? Or what will Jakiro do in the bottom lane against Nature's Prophet? Nature's Prophet already forced to the jungle. And you can see Universe smartly just going to work on that tower. Every bit of damage does count, but Bulba smartly teleporting in. He recognizes the fact that he'll get a lot higher rate of experience if he teleports and gets the link creeps. Because it does take Nature's Prophet quite a while to kill those neutral creeps in the low levels. But so far, this is going pretty much according to Dignitas' game plan. Again, Magnus with the Bottle Crow will be able to just nuke down Queen of Pain, because Queen of Pain, very low HP compared to the Magnus. Only 100 HP less, but still. And the annoying thing about Co-op against Magnus is that Screen Pain, she has to venture up a bit closer, and meanwhile Magnus can spam that shockwave at ridiculously long range. So, that's going to be annoying. But you can see Snaking, once he's used up all the bottle charges, really is forced to play super defensive. Meanwhile, there might be initiation. Oh, the Splurth does whiff. IX Mike used the Impale. A bit of mistiming. That should not have happened, as Leshrac was able to get the Edict. He was level 2, so that was really unfortunate. But I guess Fogged with Ice Path did slow on the Assault. Leshrac was just a bit too late. Keep in mind, Ice Path in the lower levels, not the longest stun, but 1 second, that's all you need to delay the onslaught, because the Lone Druid does have high move speed at 315. And now the Spirit Bear is just going to usher away the opposing side, and meanwhile Fluff is forced to defend to the bottom lane, seeing that Bulba might have been in bit of trouble. We can see Bulba completely out of mana as Lone Druid Bear has an Orb Venom, and now this lane on the top lane is going to be completely lost. We're going to see an Ice Path onto TC. The Orb Venom will slow down TC, but TC should be okay, and you can see Fog just going to cancel some Dual Breath animations here and there. And they might be able to kill the bear right now. It's going to be resummoned, or it's going to be leveled up. And keep in mind, because of the bear nerf, you can't resummon bears right as it's about to die. Meanwhile, snaking Naya at level 5, so he is going to lose the lane until he gets to that point, because Shockwave alone will not usher him out of the way. And Korok really doing a nice job in the mid lane, 21-5 versus 12-2. Korok really playing this lane perfectly, because it does get difficult for Quap once Magnus does hit that level 5, but right now, Korok is going to maintain a significant experience advantage, and snaking every time he ventures his creep wave, because that Shockwave does so low damage, he wants to get the last hits, of course, and in order to do that, he has to venture up close and personal if he doesn't want to get creep waves denied. So, Korok just going to hit him, and Korok just making great usage of the Ball Crow. What more can you say? But still, overall, I do feel like this is favoring Dignitas' game plan. Again, Lifesteal is getting uninterrupted free farm on that bottom lane, and I still have yet to see anything on the Liquid side that can really deal with the Lifestealer, as the Universe already picked up the Phase Boots, and when you pick up Phase Boots on the Lifestealer, you're saying, alright, we want to win the mid game, guys. We want to chase down the opposing team, we want to make sure they never escape, and aside from Queen of Pain, there's really not that many mobile heroes. I mean, Nature's Prop, of course, is pretty mobile with the teleport, but in terms of just running away, in terms of being chased down, he's not really the best until he gets that Shadow Blade. Meanwhile, way too sexy rotating to the top lane, as the ward did spot him out by Liquid. Good wards by Liquid as they placed that ward protecting their aggressive trial lane, but still way too sexy, recognizing the fact that at this point Universe is going to be just fine. Bulba at this point, he's level 4, but still, I mean, if he really wants to, Universe could just go to work on that Nature's Prophet. As I miss First Blood, but that's why we have this 10-second thing, as Snaking gonna be forced to skew away. Korok goes in, Sonic Wave. Nice kill by Korok, really taking it to this middle lane, as Snaking did hit level 6, but you can see Korok level 7 after that kill, and he's going to have a good time. You can see Bulba teleport in, or cancel the teleport, perhaps drawing away the supports, as Liquid were approaching the jungle very, very aggressively. But now realizes, alright, I should just go bottom lane, get some experience. Really, it's difficult to go against a Jakiro in a tri lane. So AUI getting a lot more farm than he otherwise would have. Snaking getting pressured down quite hard by Korok, but you can see only winning by 7 CS because of that Ball Crow and the Shockwave being a more reliable nuke in terms of driving away the Quap. Meanwhile, Universe receiving uninterrupted free farm, but yeah, with this Phase Boots, you can expect Lifesteal to probably go to the drums build, and you can see on Dignitas, there's no real natural drums carry. Usually, when Lifesteal doesn't get the drums, there's always somebody else, but you don't really want to get the drums on Lone Druid. Jakiro won't get farm, Rubik won't get farm, Magnus does not like to build drums himself, so Lifesteal will be the drums picker-upper in this game, so to speak. And yeah, make up words, but Korok going to get lifted up into the air. He's going to definitely get RP'd. No, Snaking deciding against that. Meanwhile, on the top lane, there's going to be dive for AUI. They will successfully pick him off. Let's just see how that happened, everybody. As you can see, oh, the Ice Path and the range. Nicely done, as they did manage to kill the Lone Druid. As I thought for sure Korok was going to get RP'd, but maybe they realized with that extra bit of mana, or bit of HP from the Nultas, and they didn't have enough damage. Rubik, what level was he at? He's only level 2, so level 1 Fable honestly would not have done anything. Maybe Snaking didn't have enough mana for all of his spells anyway. 200. Yeah, his base mana pool can't even sustain all of those spells. But nice engagement by Liquid, as I'm going to just fast forward a little bit during the replay, make sure that the game is responding accordingly. Of course it doesn't, because the game hates me. Thank you, replay timer. But yeah, Liquid, nice engagement on the top lane, but that's what they really need to do. Lone Druid in the off lane can be pressured down a lot more, sort of, better. Man, my English is so bad today. I'm sounding like Lemmy. But he can be pressured down a lot more easily in the off lane. In this lane, he's getting experience. He's getting some semblance of CS. And that's really not what you want to have to do in the Lone Druid, because there's going to be a point where he's going to hit that level 6 or level 7. He's going to have a lot of HP with this synergy. He's going to have a lot of armor. And by the time you try to kill him with these heroes, you have a lot of burst damage on your side, but still, Dignitas will teleport in, and the counter gank against an RP, against a Leicester, against an Ice Path is just going to be extremely difficult. So this is what Liquid needs to do. But still, what are they going to do about the Leicester, guys? I'm not too sure. As restarting again is the call. Well, I'm just gonna keep fast forwarding. Maybe this is the DDoS game. I thought. But anyways, the good thing for Liquid is that Bulba is getting a bit more experience than the guys would have. He's not gonna go for the Midas Rush, as you picked up a Ring of Protection. May want to get a fast Ring of Basilius to perhaps make his jungling a bit easier, but again, when Lifesteal sort of rotated to the bottom lane, or when Lifesteal is left by himself in the bottom lane, you can sort of just pick up some experience here and there, but we're going to see a rotation by Way Too Sexy. And you can see Dignitas right now are playing completely blind at the moment. They only have one Sentry Ward scouting it out. Maybe they anticipate Korok not really leaving the lane, and maybe they're saying, alright guys, Luna doesn't have a TP, Fluff doesn't have a TP, Orange most likely doesn't have a TP, pretty low, as Go is going to be the call, so time to slow down that replay timer. So Bulba, if he does have the teleport, he's got to teleport the heck out of there right about now, otherwise he will get caught by Way Too Sexy. There's no teleports in sight helping to protect him. Korok does have a TP, but again, Queen of Pain against Lifestealer, not exactly a match made in heaven for the Queen of Pain. And Queen of Pain, she can probably deal with some nasty shit as far as that goes. But actually, they're not going to dive Bulba. Maybe they didn't know Bulba was there. He teleported into a very defensive position. And Snaking just going to keep with the farm. Going to try to pick up his Arcane Boots ASAP. And I think this is another reason why Quap isn't really having the best impact these days, because in the middle lane, with the bottle crowing, you sort of always have to stay middle lane, otherwise you're losing out on guaranteed experience. Of course you can make other things happen, but it's a lot more risky. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, you sort of want to take the fewer risks, you want to get experience, but as the game goes on, Quap will become less and less effective unless she gets off to a good start. And Bear gonna go on to Fluff. Fluff potentially diving in. Ice Path gonna scare away Fluff as well as Ice Mike, but now the Ice Path is on cooldown. This could be what Liquid was waiting for. No, they're just gonna deny the pull, trying to pick off some creeps and the ogres here and there. But AUI gonna be more than happy to make this trade because he's receiving pretty much uncontested CS under his tower. So overall, again, very passive game, as expected from these two teams. North American Dota, for the most part, very passive. As Korok going to begin with the Shadow Strike. Snaking going to skewer him into the tower with the RP, but no mana for the Shockwave. That was unfortunate for Snaking, to say the least. Again, the low mana pool of Magnus without the Arcane Boots means that you have to be at full mana, otherwise you won't get that full combination off. Really unfortunate for Snaking. I mean, he could have... Well, honestly, he skewered the Quap with him. I don't know if he was intending to do that, but I guess that was good positioning by Korok, because I think Snaking was just wanting to get the heck out of there. All Korok used was a Shadow Strike as well as a Scream of Pain. And first entangled by the Bear, but here comes the Eclipse Fog, going to take a lot of damage, but you can see a lot of the Lucent Beams have already been wasted. Unfortunately, Eclipse for TC, no vision, and here comes the Bear, gonna go to work. Universe gonna teleport in as well. Axmic is surely gonna lose his life as he's gonna pop the Spike Carapace for a bit, and actually Liquid looking to fight this. I think they should get the heck out of there. Bulba is gonna teleport in. This could be disastrous as the Bear gonna get the entangle. Here comes Korok on the offensive, gonna pick up a kill. TC does manage to pick off the Rubik, but it's gonna be a 2-for-1 thus far, and meanwhile AY gonna be forced to retreat, entangling people left and right. Fluff gonna get picked off by Snaking, who just managed to respawn. TC trying to get back into the picture. The Steward does it, but here comes Open Wounds. Fogged might end up dying to Korok, and TC will end up dying. Korok does have enough mana to blink away. As that was a full 5v5 team by 9 minutes in the game. Wow. Don't usually expect to see that, but Dignitas definitely came out ahead in that exchange. As the score was 4-0 before that, and now it's 7-4, so Dignitas won that time fight 4-3. They killed Luna, Lifestealer didn't die, and again, how are you going to deal with this Lifestealer? I honestly don't know. Like, you're going to have to get a silence on him, or an Orchid on him, before he can rage, but once he rages, he's essentially untouchable for the most part, until Bulba picks up some DPS, until TC picks up some survivability, unless the sports get some Ghost Scepters. But I think the Lifestealer was picked up in the first 2 picks as well. I'm really not too sure why Liquid didn't really have a solid game plan against this Lifestealer choice. Meanwhile, Fog just going to scout out the runes, going to place that really defensive or offensive ward. Well, normal ward. Normal mid lane ward. Neither offensive nor defensive. I guess a little bit more offensive because it's technically on the other side of the map. So. But yeah, Universe picking up 1 kill, 2 assists, gonna go for the Oblivion staff, recognizing this is again a very strong mid game build. Lifesteal, if we want to go for late game, would probably pick up Armlet, Basher, something like that, something that would give him HP. For right now, they just want to shut down Korok as Fogged, gonna get initiated on Bulba. Unfortunately, just a little bit too slow. Korok, no mana for the blink. Ice Path is in place. The trees, no, Bulba gonna get picked off by Snaking's teleport. Oh man, that was so unfortunate. Is Mike gonna get raged as Dignitas just gonna teleport left and right, trying to defend all of their buddies, and they are taking it to Liquid at this point. Meanwhile, Leshak does pick up the top tower, but at what cost? Grimacing face. And meanwhile, keep in mind, Universe did manage to kill this bottom tower. Was it denied? No, Lifesteal picked it up, teleported in, got another kill. Really good rotation by Dignitas, as this is a signature of Dignitas. They have really good communication. They have, you know, weak lanes, but Liquid didn't really have the best lanes in this game either. And again, we're seeing the problem of Quap. Like, if she doesn't manage to get the burst damage going, if she doesn't get a really good start, then honestly, she can't contribute much in the mid to late stages of the game. And now Snaking already has the Fish Arcane Boots. Oh yeah, Snaking didn't die in that last engagement either. So that is huge in that big 5v5 cluster fight. And he picked up a lot of assist gold just from being in the area. So he's going to get close to the Blink Dagger, even though Korok was dominating him for the most part. And actually, he's evened up the CS. He's actually winning by 1 deny. You know, Liquid trying to make something happen, but their lineup, it's really LGD-esque where they had the Luna push in. But again, Luna, not really the best late game hero. She's strong, but there comes a point where she can't pick up damage because she has to go for survivability. Meanwhile, Lifesteal, survivability, attack speed, and an own BKB. So it really gets going a lot sooner than Luna. Always in the late game, Luna will beat the Lifesteal because she does the AoE damage, where the Lifesteal can only do single target DPS unless he picks up something like a Mjolnir. No, this is a signature Dignitas. They want to get the sports a bit of experience, and this indicates that they want to make something happen very soon. Check out the levels. Well, the sports are for the most part evenly leveled, but Liquid going to smoke up. This is signature Liquid. But right now, Fogged playing super defensively. They want to go in for Way 2. But again, using a smoke to gank off a support Rubik, Way Too Sexy might be okay with this trade. But this is really just to help Bulba get going, as this Midas, even though he's lane for a bit, going to be a bit annoying. Oh, the teleport by Way 2. Oh man, just a little bit of an unfortunate situation for Way Too Sexy. He predicted the teleport. The Dignitas ward was in place. He just mistimed it. And that mistiming did cost his death, and additionally cost him 135 gold. So the smoke, I guess, was worth it in the end. Meanwhile, Lone Druid does manage to pick off TC, so Dignitas saying, alright, you can kill our support Rubik, guys, but we got your Lone Druid in its place, as really against open wounds. And if the bear does manage to get a couple right clicks off, what can honestly a poor Panther lady do? The answer is not too much, as AUI with the point into power, and this is when the lineup of Dignitas really starts getting scary. Now they have Empower, and they have a bunch of melee heroes, or all their main physical DPS heroes are melee. Now they can farm so much more efficiently, they get a lot more attack damage, and really, Liquid, I'm not too sure how they can contest this without TC. TC gonna have to expose himself. Picked up the Helm of Dominator, so this is a very late game heavy build. Wants to get the ancient stacks, not going for anything like Tranquil Drums into Yasha or anything like that. The high move speed, which sort of allows you to chase in the team fight. She's going all out late game. And this is a good decision because Liquid, they're not winning the early game, even though they have strong early game choices. They've recognized the fact they need to start split pushing, and Bulba going to be the catalyst in that. He has the Midas, but it was a pretty late Midas at around 13 minutes. But again, he was pressured quite a bit in the bottom lane. His jungle time was interrupted because he wanted to get experience on the bottom lane. As, oh no, Snaking with the invisibility rune. Liquid seems to know what's up, as the Orchid is fish on Universe already. Oh my god, Skewer in place. Korok will get picked up by the soul burn damage and one more right click. That Orchid lasts ages at these early levels because you have no HP, and you can see Korok level 11 Ultimate Orb. Really having some solid items at this stage in the game, but still unable to stand up to the wrath, and Korok might be regretting his decision to rush that Ultimate Orb. Could be Lincoln's here, could be going for Hex, but again, it's going to be a long while before he finishes either of those items unless he receives auto free farm or unless Liquid wins a huge team fight. As the game is going to be paused yet again, we'll take a look at the early game gold graphs as lag is going to be the call. We're going to see the gold graph definitely favoring Dignitas. They have picked up 2 towers compared to Liquid's 1, so that's counting to some of it. Experience graph is in favor of Dignitas again because of the more kills, or because of the more frequent mid-game kills. Liquid had a lot more early game kills, but again, early game kills don't really mean that much into his experience because the heroes are going to be low leveled in general. As AOI going to reconnect, Fogged gonna disconnect, and I think this might be a DDoS game. Dignitas all getting DDoSed at the moment. Well, that sucks for them. As we'll just speed up again until AOI sort of reconnects into the game. Such is the power of having replays instead of live casting. One of the few benefits, you can just sort of speed past through the action. As, you know what, we'll just go on ultra speed. Yeah, 10 times speed, guys. So, dang. Snaking and IX Mike being IXDL regulars, just sort of chatting to each other. And I'm a bit uncomfortable going this fast, so I'll go back to 4 times speed. But yeah, just looking back at the game plan, really Dignitas, again, lowest stealer is the huge issue, as Fogged will be able to reconnect relatively soon, requesting Google Fiber. But right now, the Dignitas supports, they're outlowing the Liquid supports, and really, when is Liquid's big break going to come? They don't have anything like an RP to help set up a team fight. All they have is split push, and if split push doesn't win the game, or split push doesn't stall the game out to the 35-minute mark, then Liquid's going to lose. If they manage to stall, they have a good shot. But again, Liquid's team fight, when you have a lifesteal bomb with the Magnus, who already has his Blink Dagger online, or will have it online after this tower, will just be, that's your team fight. You have your ridiculous DPS, you have your tanks, and Jakiro, very tanky hero. Rurik, if you steal something like an Impale, which probably is one of the best spells to steal if it's not Eclipse or Sonic Wave, because, I mean, a huge AoE stun is definitely not something you'd taken lightly. But yeah, Dignitas have a solid team fight. They have a stronger mid game at this point, and really, they're only going to lose through split push. So Liquid, they're going to have to stall out the game, and Liquid do have a decent lineup if they manage to split push hard enough, but still, it's going to be up to Bulba. He has to be in the right place at every single right time, otherwise Liquid can't really stall the game, as this game going on forever. 10 minutes are running because of DDoS. But Steam, he's logged on to Steam, guys, is the call. Meanwhile, checking out the items on AUI, you can see he's going to pick up the armor build, very standard for the launcher. Not the best CS for AUI, as he was pressured quite a bit, but still got experience. Snaking, going to pick up that dagger relatively soon. Fogged, gonna reconnect. And time to slow down the game. 2 times speed. Just until the game does pause. Jakiro getting something shipped towards him. One thing that's a bit unfortunate for Dignitas is they don't really have a natural mechanism carrier. As Leicester, it looks like he's going to go back into the armor build, as ready is going to be the call by Webboss. G is the call by everybody on each team. Hopefully that will be the last issue in this replay. And hopefully people stop DDoSing. Really hurts Dota 2. But we're going to see it teleport in. They're going to initiate onto Fog. They're going to be able to kill off this Jakiro. Oh man, they're going to use Macro Fire to break down the trees. No use Sprout, as Fog will end up dying. X Mike going to get lifted up into place. What spell did he manage to steal? Open Wounds is going to be in place as the top tower was picked off from the Radiant. Here comes Universe, actually going to be blocked by the trees. A really strong micro by Bulba, as he is going to save the life of Universe. Really smart playing. And now, here comes the Blink RP by Snaking. What a sensational positioning play, AUI. No bear with him. Could be a bit of an issue. AUI? AUI, bro? Oh, really nice juking with the shotgun. Snaking, after his mishaps in landing phase, is making huge plays in the mid-game. Beautiful RP, canceling the shockwave, so TC got a little bit spooked and then just cast it on him anyway. Because at that distance, even if you target the hero with a shockwave, they can potentially dodge, because shockwave does have a travel time. It has an AoE, but Luna so fast that she can potentially dodge it, but really just good play, forcing TC to juke one way and then juke the other way. But at that point, the field of vision, or the area around where TC could juke, was a lot less limited, so Snaking just targeted the ground, and really smart play, and they defend the tower as well. Dignitas looking so sharp in this game, clearly looking for some revenge. Universe gonna go for the Armwood again, has the Orchid in place. Korok gonna be a bit hard pressed, but again, Liquid, they have options in place. If they manage to get the split push going, which is really all they can rely on. TC has died a couple times, which is unfortunate. But once it picks up BKB, really the only thing that can stop him is going to be the Magnus RP as well as the Baron Tangles, which is not really, again, reliable. So Liquid, they're going to have to play defensively right now. They can't really go for anything like smoke ganks. Initiating into Dignitas is definitely not going to be an option. And Liquid, they're a team that likes to go for smoke ganks quite a bit, but I think they recognize in this situation, alright, we can't really make anything happen. They're just really tank. Lone Druid sitting at around 1500 HP. Lifestealer with that rage going to be next to impossible gank unless you get the perfect chain stuns. And again, you really can't set him up unless NA goes with the Vendetta Impale. Meanwhile, Dignitas seeking to get map control. Smart ward by Fogged as he recognizes that TC had the Helm Dominator, recognizes there's an ancient stack, gonna ward off the ancient stack. And I don't know if that Hellbear Smasher did manage to catch sight. TC, I don't think he was aware that Fog did manage to rotate in because it looks like he's ready to stack, and that's going to be a loss of gold as the Telekinesis and the Sentry Ward. So unfortunate for IX Mike. All he wanted to do was perhaps kill Fogged. And meanwhile, Lifestealer does manage to pick off Fluff with the help of snaking. They didn't have to use an RP, they just used an Infest Bomb onto the Leshrac, and Leshrac none the wiser. This Ancient not going to get stacked. Nothing is going Liquid's way at this moment. They can hope Dignitas gets all DC'd or DDoS'd. But again, main factor for Liquid is Bulba. He has to get the split push going. And right now the lane's not pushed out, but he's really scared. You can see Liquid at the moment have no map control, and Nature's Father without the Shadow Blade really can't afford to risk his life at this stage. Level 11 Nature's Father does respawn in about 35-40 seconds, so it is quite a long duration. As was that an Eclipse? Oh my god. Oh no, TC. How are you gonna fight team fights now? You don't have Eclipse, and you were about to hit level 11. That Eclipse, I mean, wouldn't have killed Universe, but it could have done number to Fogged as well as Zurich, but now they have no Eclipse. Man, Liquid, I don't know, they're just not playing that well this game. Meanwhile, Dignitas picked up the Aegis up on the Lone Druid. Not going to give it to Leicester, though he went for a very sort of mid-game oriented build. Not really that tank, but again, Armlet, in comparison to the rest of these heroes, none of whom are tank, should be able to sustain himself as long as he has Rage, because again, he can probably just outlast the side of Liquid if he just manages to get the proper initiation. But meanwhile, we're going to see Fluff roam in, trying to plant wards with the Smoker to see, perhaps wrapping around. He's going to use Smoke to place wards. Really something I haven't seen too often, but pretty smart. But again, this is mainly, I think, just to allow TC and Bulba some farming rune. And the only safe place to farm is going to be in the opposing team's jungle, and I think that is, in fact, what TC's going to do. But Bulba, smartly enough, picks up that tower, and Liquid, they're still in the game. They're behind by quite a bit. Again, they can't force a team fight at this moment. And if Dignitas just more sort of push in, I don't know how Liquid can really stop them. But right now, the creep equilibrium on the lane is getting pushed. And one thing that's annoying about Dignitas' lineup is they're not mobile whatsoever. They want to be sieging. They don't have any mobility. The only mobility comes from a Lifestealer Infest or a Magnus Blink Dagger. And you can see Nature's Prophet. Oh, he wanted the Courier, but Dignitas, unfortunately, a little bit outside of the range. Bulba going to Shadow Blade up, but the Courier already using its speed, and now I think they know Bulba is there because Dignitas did have a ward in place. He's going to teleport out of there, but that is going to force Dignitas to back off. The top tower or the bottom tower was getting pressured, and it's still scary. Keep in mind, they don't know that Eclipse isn't down. They don't know what TC did, and Eclipse should be back up for the next team fight, so it's not going to be the biggest deal for Liquid. And Liquid, they're still in the game, but still, not too sure they can kill anybody at this point in the game. It's going to be up to Bulba and Korok. As Korok, have you died a couple times? Going to go for a straight-up Hex Rush. Interesting build in this case, but I definitely approve of it in this situation. Usually, in this game against a Lifestealer Orchid, against Ice Path, as well as Rubik Telekinesis, you want to get something like a Linken's or BKB, especially against the Orchid by the Lifestealer, which is designed solely to counter that Queen of Pain. But in this game, you want to do something. You want to forestall the 5-man push, and one of the best ways to do that is to get pickoffs. And what is the best way for Queen of Pain to do that? She needs a disable. She has burst damage, but she needs some disable, and she managed to get Bolo to teleport in. They have a Hex in their back pocket to help pick off somebody, and again, Dignitas really probably don't want to push without all 5 people. So, smart item by Korok in this game. Again, you wouldn't have been able to say no to anything like a Linken's or a Hex. Maybe a little bit less to Linken's because, I mean, it's not as good in comparison to BKB. But still, you can definitely understand Korok's rationale, and I definitely agree with in this case. But Dignitas is going to group up, and Fogged has the buckler, so Fogged is going to pick up the mechanism. The courier, oh, the courier is going to get sniped out. The ward, I think, did spot it, as TC cleared up his agent stack, saying, our agents have been worried, guys. I'm very sad. And AUI claiming that tower without a fight. Liquid Fluff does manage to get killed off in the middle lane by the Leicester with an Orchid, and Swift is dispatching him, but meanwhile Bulba applying auto pressure. Macro Power 60-second cooldown can be used very freely, but Fogged is going to be forced to teleport back, as well as Way 2. They recognize the fact that Bulba is going to be a huge problem, and I mean, even the racks against the Nature's Prophet is really not that big of a deal. It's a pretty big deal, but against Luno has the bouncing lives, against Nature's Prophet who can split push all of the map. Really, the game's not really over until the throne does manage to die, or if you pick up Mega Creeps. And Bulba's starting to get that point. He's starting to deal out a lot of physical DPS as a Shadow Blade. He does a lot of damage, can escape, can attack the towers quite quickly, can pretty much push without fear. And Dignitas, respecting that fact, are just going to sort of defend the pushes, and that is going to stall the Aegis and the push of Dignitas, which I imagine they want to go in very soon, as Lone Druid picked up the Vlad's 1k gold in his back pocket. Maybe Dignitas waiting for the mechanism as well. If so, they are going to be about 650 gold short, as they're going to see it teleport in. They are looking for engagement on Korok, but there is a ward by Liquid spotting out the movement here as well as here. And meanwhile, Bulba picks off the courier. Nicely done, just going to teleport out of there. And Liquid making all the smart plays at this point. They recognize the fact that they are weaker, but they're playing extremely smart, and they're stalling the game, which is definitely what they want to happen. But Alex Mike going to end up paying. Oh, Vendetta, no detection. Unfortunate situation for Dignitas. But all they use is a skewer. Meanwhile, Dignitas want to get the last tier 2 tower, and Liquid probably going to respect that. They don't want to push in against Dignitas. They know they don't have any big teamfight abilities like the RP. And killing the courier is quite significant. They can't get the items transferred to them unless they go all the way back to the base. And for somebody like Fogged, who was looking for that mechanism, that could be an issue, as Liquid actually pushing fast in Dignitas at this point. The dire structures have been fortified, and the tower on both sides of the map will get brought down, but again, this is just good play by Liquid. Unfortunately, the item progression still is a bit slow, and you can see Dignitas gonna go in saying, alright, we're not gonna get the mechanism anyway, guys, we don't need to pick up any major items. We're gonna go for it. We want to make the most usage of the Aegis, and it's enough. Bulba and Queen of Pain still staying on the top lane. Impale gonna catch out a bunch of heroes, but nice infest by Universe. They're gonna kill off Alex Mike immediately, but they don't have an Orchid to shut down Korok. Here comes a Sonic Wave, masterfully placed. Gonna catch everybody, and here comes the Lucent Beam by Luna. TC manning up, but he was entangled for so long. A snaking is gonna get picked off. RP was not used. Korok will be killed by Universe. But now Bulba is into the fray of the battle. Oh man, Bulba just poked his head out a little bit too far. Split's gonna help forestall the inevitable, but still, Bulba will end up dying. Aegis does finally expire onto AUI, but that might have been a tactical feat, as Korok does buy back. Can he even kill off Fogged? He's going to get Orchided up. This is going to be a huge disaster. Bulba with the right click. Yes, Korok will get killed by the Soul Burn, but they're going to kill off the Nyx. Liquid, they're defending it, as AUI will teleport out of there. No, the Lucent Beam. Such a short cooldown, as Vendetta for Alex Mike trying to get a bit more burst damage, and AUI actually runs through the trees. A little bit of a nifty glitch right there. But Liquid are going to defend. What a powerful defense. Unfortunately for Liquid, they have to use buybacks. And who they use buybacks on? They use buybacks on two of their major semi-carries. They used it on both the Nature's Prophet as well as the Queen of Pain. And Queen of Pain, well, she finished the Hex, so that's not really going to help hurt her too much. It's going to hurt Bulba quite a bit, though. And unfortunately for Dignitas, they couldn't get racks off that push. But I think with the next switch, when they had the mechanism on Fogged, or yeah, they just finished the mechanism on Fogged, they should be a bit better. But again, Bulba's getting to the point where he can pressure your tier 3 tower easily, can perhaps bring down this tier 2 tower. And really, Dignitas might be forced to push out this lane, and when you're pushing out the lane that's most efficient, that gives Liquid more time to farm up, more time to split push, and it's just overall going to be a very dire situation. So even though Dignitas have an edge, you can see the edges are not nearly significant where you can call it GG anytime soon. As Lone Druid picks up the Basher, this could be quite useful in terms of locking down the Queen of Pain or the Luna. And you can see in that last fight, Luna can honestly not do too much. She's entangled by the bear, and she has 13 HP, nothing like Natalis and Evasion or anything like that. Gonna pick up the Yasha, it'll give her a bit more attack speed, but more importantly gonna be a bit more useful in terms of split pushing, as the Sun is going to chain nicely. Bulba gonna come in with the Shadow Blade, as Macropower gonna be dropped by Fog. And Liquid fearing reinforcement's going to back off, but still, that is what Liquid needs to do. The ward, again, placed by Fluff so long ago, definitely paying off huge dividends, as it is going to manage to pick off the Magnus. And without their RP, there's really no reliable teamfight scenario for Dignitas. So suddenly, Dignitas looking in a bit more difficult situation against Nature's Prophet. Keep in mind, Dignitas have the dire Aegis advantage because they have an easier path to get to it, but against Nature's Prophet, we can split push. Still, for the most part, rather even. Also against the Luna, who farms or pushes out the waves a lot faster with those Moonglades, since the bear did not go for Maelstrom, instead went for the Basher. But again, you can't really count on Dignitas in this game. There's still, again, nothing that can really lock down the Leicester. Leicester was like the second last person to die. He didn't even have an Aegis. Leicester is so difficult to bring down that lasting agent, and I think it's going to get more and more difficult as this game goes on. Once he picks up some items, like he's going to go for Halberd. Ooh, trying to shut down TC or Bulba, as Bulba does do quite a decent amount of right click, 150 damage per hit. Definitely nothing to sneeze at. Meanwhile, Dignitas recognizing the fact they want to have the Aegis before they push in. Dagger picked up on the Rubik, way too sexy. Trying to steal one of those spells. Again, that Sonic Wave by Korok without the mechanism in place by Fog because of the Courier Snipe. Really did damage Dignitas quite a bit. But now with the mechanism in place, it's going to be quite useful. And now if Korok uses that Sonic Wave, could potentially be jacked by way 2. Now we'll just take a look at the last hits. You can see the side of Liquid. They are farming up a bit more than Dignitas, but that's because they're able to clear creeps faster. Dignitas always want to be grouped up, as you can see the top 2 farmers. But again, Dignitas have the severe tower advantage, and they have these stronger mid-game carries as they are a lot beefier. And man, I am just not on the ball today with these kills, as... Oh, the Smoke of Deceit into the RP, gonna pick off TC.
Just get him started. You lack discipline.
TC, no buyback in place. Picked up the alternate orb. Keep in mind, Dignitas don't know that. I mean, he might have seen me at buyback, but that was an interesting decision. They used an RP on a solo hero, and I think they recognize the fact they want to get it, but I think this is more of insurance because they know Roshan's going to come up relatively soon, and if they pick up Fluff as well, that is going to be us in kick. First hit bashed by Universe, and Leicester does manage to pick up the last hit with that Orchid Burst as well as the right clicks. But yeah, that RP was mostly used to secure the Roshan because RP has such a short cooldown that it will be back up for the next team fight that Dignitas wants to push in. So RP for one person isn't always the best idea, but when you have a goal in mind, I mean, bringing down the hard carry, definitely good. Bringing down the hard carry and securing himself an Aegis, even better. Dignitas is going to pick up this Aegis as Bulba going to try to split push up top, but with the Blink Dagger up on way too sexy, he will be in place to defend this. And Bulba going to have to play pretty defensively, going to go for a Hex himself. And again, one of the ways to deal with Leicester is to Hex him before he can pop the Rage. But really smart Aegis decision by Dignitas. They're going to give it to the Leicester. They recognize at this point, Mildred, he's tank, he's a beast. He's going to hit level 16, he's going to get 2.1k HP with the true form, more armor. And, I mean, honestly, if the Laundry does die, he's going to respond in mortal form anyway. He will be relatively easy to pick off. Leicester, on the other hand, went for not too much HP items. Didn't go for AC, didn't go for Heart. Went for SNY to help chase down a bit further. And this build, you might be saying SNY is such a scrub item. But SNY has been used to great effect by YYF in the G1 as well as the G League on the Leicester. And YYF has probably one of the best Leicesters in the world, if not the best, as he has a ridiculous win percentage with that hero. And he likes SNY, gives him a lot of chasing, gives him a bit of HP. I thought it would have been a Halberd, but against a BK Luna, not the best. And again, Korok doesn't really need to rely on his spells. I thought it might have been good for Bulba, but I guess they think better. And Liquid gonna actually defend this. I don't know if they can. That's the issue, as Snaking does have the RP, as the bear just a little bit out of range from attacking the barracks. Radiant, do they have the glyph? They do. They're going to fortify right now. They're going to try to hurt down the bear a little bit, but AOI does have a resummon in this bear. You can see taking so long to bring down TC, forced to drop the BKB very early on, as glyph was used at the wrong time, but they are going to burn the mechanism charge. Fog will get picked off right here, right now. now. That's unfortunate for Dignitas. They want to have the mechanism, and mana burn by X Mike. Gonna push the Lifesteal away again. Successful defense by Liquid. And all they used was a BK charge me on Bulba, recognizing the fact he senses weakness, but doesn't have a TP, so Dignitas perhaps sense that. Yeah, they're actually going to go back in. Such a smart play, as they realize Bulba doesn't have a TP, and Bulba, his teleport, will be cooling down very rapidly, so Bulba should be able to get back in time in a matter of moments. He will be able to pick off the tower. Will he keep pushing, forcing a TP? No, the bear is going to pick off the range of Hex. Again, another bash onto TC, as the Hex goes down to Universe. Korok is in position, does pick off the Spirit Bear, but Dignitas got what they came for. They got the melee racks, and now they're going to back off. They sacrificed the middle tier too, but it was very much worth it. But still, again, Liquid, they're not in the worst of shapes. They have 2 hexes. Luna's only going to get more and more powerful. She did not die. She used the BKB, but still, she didn't die in that last engagement. If Luna died, that would have been a disaster for Liquid, because at this point in the game, losing any bit of gold against an Aegis Tier is going to be absolutely devastating. But they got a bit more gold on their side. They lost to melee barracks, which is annoying, but you have Luna, you have Lifesteal, or you have Nature's Prophet. You can push down those waves quite effortlessly. As Dignitas, again, they have to group up as 5, and Bulba taking full advantage of that, gonna keep the split push, and that's why, even though the melee barracks has been brought down, the experience and gold graph for the most part are actually even. Quite silly, but still, power split pushing is very much evident, as Fluff gonna go for a Halberd, trying to shut down the bear, the Lifesteal when he's not in rage form. Really smart item by Fluff. Meanwhile, any item progression by Dignitas. Bash picked up on Universe, he's gotten some first hit bashes. Bear, what you got? Bear, do you care? No, you do not. Not too much aggression by Dignitas, but they're going to go in trying to end the game right about now. And Liquid, can they defend? No, TC gets bashed. He gets entangled through the BKB, forced to pop the BKB, but the bear is hot on his heels. AY going to be forced to retreat, but again, the BKB was used just to run away. Unfortunate, as Leshak going to come in. Here comes IX Mike, does manage to get the Impale onto Universe, as well as the Spirit Bear. Dignitas, where they, oh, I think they stole Impale. That is such a crucial spell, as now they have an AoE stun to go to work, as Bulba is going to get picked up. Bulba forced to buy back. Keep in mind, Dignitas have not yet used RP. Liquid really can't take the fight again. Dignitas Slap is so damn tanky, and the middle barracks are going to get picked off as well. Now things are looking very dire for Liquid, as Korok going to blink in. They want to force engagement, but that might have been a bit hasty. Korok is going to get orchided up, and Universe is trying to go to work. Neo RP is going to cast it. It hits TC. It hits Korok. Bulba's the only survivor, and I think, oh, Bulba's going to die as well. He already used his buyback. And I think this is going to be GG in one fell swoop. The tankiness of the Dignitas Slap, the Death Ball push, just overwhelmed Liquid. And again, I think it came down to the draft. And Dignitas, one of the weaknesses that you can explain their lineup is that their lanes are not strong, but Liquid's lanes weren't the most impressive either, as they managed to kill the top lane. They won 2 of their lanes, but they didn't do anything about the Lifesteal, and I really feel like they didn't pick up anything to deal with Lifesteal. If they picked up a Shadow Demon instead of a Leshrac, if they picked up some other carry besides a Luna who could actually do stuff against Lifesteal in the mid game, I think Liquid could have been in a much more favorable position. But Dignitas, with some nice play and some pickoffs, had to endure a couple shaky moments, but still got the job done, and that's all you can want in the end. And they're going to get a 1-0 series lead despite some disconnection issues. And I don't know if I'm going to be casting game 2, but Dignitas won that, and they're actually going to be in the grand finals. And that was the game where I think Dignitas played with 2 stands, because AUI as well as Fogged were getting DDoSed. But yeah, they're going to be in the grand finals of the Dreamhack Invitational, facing former No Titanter, aka Alliance. So Dignitas getting the revenge, sending Liquid home in the Dreamhack Invitational, and looking very, very convincing while doing so. But thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see y'all next time. Peace.